Welcome to Daily Overdose.
Give it up. Give up that war. You know, the war that you have to really fight is the war against yourself. You have to fight a war against yourself. Now, it's not easy to look in the mirror and to change your own life. It's hard as hell. You have to take responsibility. You have to learn new things. You have to feel uncomfortable. Good, because discomfort is how we grow. That's how we become strong. If you run away from discomfort and resistance your whole life, you will always be weak.
And most people don't like being uncomfortable. If you don't want to be uncomfortable, please do not pursue success, because success is a very uncomfortable feeling. And I just learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Your comfort zone is irrelevant. What matters is, what are you trying to do with your life? Future you is going to give you advice on what to stop, what to start, on what a more courageous action would be. What's the first thing they would tell you to be or do to be more courageous?
You ain't gonna have much of a life. If you play it safe, you won't have much of a life. Life is risk. It take courage to pursue your dream. Now, it's gonna cost you something. Most people are not willing to pay what it costs to go after your dream, because you're gonna have to hurt a little bit.
And those are the times when you want to run and hide. You gotta be able to find energy. You gotta make up games, make up tricks, make up whatever you can to get to the next evolution of life.
All successful people, if they fail by trying greatly, not by playing it safe and wishing and hoping that everything will work out all right in the future. What they do is they take great risks with no guarantee of success, and so can you.
Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day.
We do not retreat. We do not give up. We do not surrender. And the reason why most of you are not successful is because every single time stuff's not going your way, you give up, you quit, you let go. And people feel weakness. They feel it. You can feel when somebody's not committed, when they're not all in, when they're not dedicated.
If you want freedom, there's going to be an element of risk. There's going to have to be sacrifices made. There's going to have to be late nights, extra hours, persistence, and most importantly, growth. If you don't become someone else, you will not be able to earn your freedom. The person you are right now might not be good enough for the life you want. If you really want it, you're going to have to become someone else.
The voice in my head said, you know what, man? You're gonna die never even trying to reach your full potential. And how's that gonna feel? So I'm gonna live even while I'm dead. I'm gonna be, because I believe in a higher power, whatever it may be. I don't know what it is. I believe that your mind lives forever. Some spirit, something lives forever. I'm gonna be haunted by the mere fact that I literally just, that's what I was.
You wasted that life.
That's what I was, man.
You look back and here lies David Goggins, a punk.
That's it. And I get to live, so whatever heaven or hell is, you're in hell the rest of your life. The rest of your life. And if there is a God, which I hope to God there is, knowing what I put myself through now, whatever memories I have, if there's any at all, I'll be a happy man. But I knew that I was getting paid for this while I was living or while I was dead. I was getting paid for this, because basically to me, it was a huge sin. I'm basically just gonna sit here and just be a comfortable man and not even try.
Wasting your life is a sin,
It's
right?
a sin.
It is.
I'm not even gonna try.
I want you to get over this notion that I find so annoying that so many people have, that success and power in life is dependent on something like genetics. Like some people are born with a larger brain, or they have wealthy parents who are able to send them to the right school, or it's all a matter of luck. What really makes people successful and powerful in life, and it's not just me saying this, I read hundreds of books on the subject, what makes people successful is their degree of motivation. I could repeat it 100 times, but it's true every time I say it. When you are motivated, When you feel yourself emotionally engaged in the subject, you learn faster. You learn what could take somebody 10 years to learn, you can learn in 2 years. When you feel emotionally engaged with something, you're able to push past all the obstacles. The sense that it's genetics or the size of our brain or our parents' money, you can't control any of that, obviously. And they can become kind of crutches for some people. But the amount of motivation you feel, the emotional connection you have to what you're studying or doing, that is something within your control. That is something you can choose to take. And it is, you're going to find people giving you all kinds of great advice about your careers, about where you should go, you know, your MBA, etc. But if there's one piece of advice that I think is more important than that, it is this idea of following these natural inclinations and creating your own career path and finding a way to engage those deepest motivating parts of your psyche.
Unhappiness is simply the lack of progress toward a preset goal. If you're not making progress, see, that's when unhappiness sets in. But here's where happiness begins: making progressive progress. You don't have to arrive all at once. You don't have to have it immediately. But as long as you're making progress, as long as progress is part of your experience now, it is a fantastic source of inspiration. Now here's the next one. Source of inspiration, and that is achieving. When you finally have arrived at that goal that you set. I want to have this much experience and be able to do this by 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 6 months from now. And finally, that 6 months passes, and there you are. Finally, the time passes, and you have it. Finally, the time passes, and the skill is now beginning to be polished, and it is so unique and effective. Achieving is an incredible source of inspiration. But here's what we notice. When you do achieve, whatever you set out in the beginning, where you decided and planned and you got started and you progressed, when you finally achieve, that achievement is not much more inspiration than when you decided. It's a different kind of inspiration. It's a different kind of feeling to having arrived. Knowing that you've got many other objectives to accomplish, many other places you want to go, things you want to do, the person you want to become. But at least I've got this one. You know, I've done this one.
As the saying on the wall of the inner city school reads, God don't make no junk. Each person is capable of achieving excellence in some way, in some area. You have within you, right now, the ability to function at genius or exceptional levels in at least one, and perhaps several different intelligences. Your job is to find out what it could be for you. Your responsibility to yourself is to cast off all these self-limiting beliefs and accept that you are an extraordinarily capable and talented person. You are engineered for greatness and designed for success. You have competencies and capabilities that have never been tapped. You have the ability within yourself right now to accomplish almost any goal you can set for yourself if you are willing to work long enough and hard enough to achieve it. The good news about beliefs is that all beliefs are learned. They can therefore be unlearned, especially if they are not helpful. When you came into the world, you had no beliefs at all about yourself, your religion, your political party, other people, or the world in general. Today, you know a lot of things. But as the comic Josh Billings once wrote, it aren't what a man knows what hurts him. It's what he knows what aren't true. There are many things that you know about yourself that are simply not true. And these are almost always in the area of self-limiting beliefs. The starting point of unlocking more of your potential is for you to identify your self-limiting beliefs and then ask, what if they were not true at all? What if you were possessed of an extraordinary ability in an area where you didn't think you were very good at all, such as selling, entrepreneurship, public speaking, or money-making? Everywhere I go throughout the world, I have taught these principles to many tens of thousands of people. I have filing drawers full of letters from people who had never heard this idea of self-limiting beliefs before. But once they heard it, they changed their entire attitudes towards themselves. They began to see themselves as far more competent and capable in key areas of their lives than they had ever been before. In no time at all, they began transforming their lives and changing their results. Their incomes doubled and tripled and quadrupled. Many of them became millionaires and multimillionaires. They went from the bottom of their companies to the top, from the worst performer in their sales forces to the highest earning person in their companies. After they changed their beliefs about themselves and their personal potentials, they learned new skills and took on new challenges. They set bigger goals and threw their whole hearts into achieving them. By questioning their beliefs and by refusing to accept that they were limited in any way, they took complete charge of their lives and careers and created new realities for themselves. And what countless others have done, you can do as well.
Have you ever had anything bring you to the point that you wasn't sure if you could get out of this? Somehow it's not the one thing, but it's everything. It's everything you went through all the years before, and to find out that the things are never going to stop coming at you, that finally brings you to the point that you say, you know what, I'm not sure I want to get up out of the bed in the morning if all I got to face is another fight.
This is for those of you who are going through the fight. Those of you who are wondering, how can I keep going like this? Some of you have been through so much that you should have lost your mind.
It's all right to fail as long as you fail forward. It's all right, but I need you to have heart, because there's some things you just can't get without perseverance.
Don't think it's strange when things happen to you, because every man, every woman, every boy, every girl will go through a time where your faith will be tested.
I know what it's like to barely hold on, to barely feel like you're breathing, to barely feel like you can come up for air.
Look up. Look up and recognize that there is a way out. There is a path for you to take. And it's not an easy path. It takes courage and it's hard. But what is the other choice? What else can we do? Let the darkness completely consume us, be overtaken by temptation and vice? No. Do not accept that. You can triumph over these dark forces. You can become better. You can be better.
You got more than you think. You can do more than you think. You can go further than you think. You can have more than you think. And stop blaming somebody else over what you don't have. It's time for you to know what you got in your hand.
Stand up for your dreams. Stand up for what you want in your life. Decide that your life is so meaningful to you, that you love you and you love life so much that you're going to stand up for what you believe in, because you can fall for anything.
And so by being committed to everything that I started, I finished it. It built a certain type of spirit. It built a certain type of mentality. And so now I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I had too much sweat equity in my life and everything that I was doing.
When it gets tough, I'm gonna press my way. When I get tired, I'm gonna press my way. When it's not convenient, I'm gonna press my way. When my heart is broken, I'm gonna press my way. When I'm rejected, I'm gonna press my way. When I'm broke, I'm gonna press my way. When I'm despaired, I'm gonna press my way.
You would just believe that your day coming, that the sacrifices you are making today, they gonna pay off. But if you do not believe, it ain't gonna happen. So I need you to work on your faith. I need you to wake up every day and say, today ain't the day, but my day coming. And I will not give up until I get to that day. I will not stop. I will not give up. I will not give in until my day comes.
This is another concept which has made its rounds in the world, that something else should motivate you to do what you're doing. If what you are doing is significant enough, you don't need any other thing to motivate you. If what you are doing is truly significant to life, why do you need another motivation to make that happen? If you really understand and experience that what you are doing is truly important for every life around you, you don't need a motivation. Life just goes on. See, does your heartbeat need a motivation to keep it going? I'm asking you, all the life processes is not asking for any motivation, isn't it? Monsoon is coming. Any motivation? No, it's coming year after year, because the natural process is going on. Simply like that. In you and me, life is on. What I'm telling you is, if you are doing something which is aligned with the fundamental life process of who you are, this can find a million expressions. It need not be just spiritual teaching. It can find a million expressions that what you are doing is aligned with your fundamental life process. Then you will not need anything to motivate you. Simply, as a part of life, it will just happen. How much you do simply depends on how much time you invested on upgrading yourself. The problem with the world right now is that people are always trying to upgrade their activity. If you upgrade your activity without upgrading yourself, you are bound to break up somewhere. It's like you went on a Formula One track because you want to be on a fast track, and you went with your Maruti 800. Suppose you hit the right kind of speed. All the four wheels will go in four different directions. It won't hold up. If you want to be in that kind of speed and that kind of track, you must prepare the machine. Upgradation of this one is important. If you upgrade yourself, activity will simply happen. Many people around me, many times think I'm superhuman because of the activity that I perform. This is not about being superhuman. If you explore the possibilities of being human, if you explore the possibilities of the immensity of being human, you will realize you don't have to be a superhuman. Being human itself is super. So you will not need any external drive or some other inspiration. The very process of life will do it.
It turns out 95% of who we are by our midlife is a set of memorized behaviors, unconscious habits, hardwired thoughts and attitudes, conditioned emotions that are so familiar to us that it doesn't even feel like fear, or it doesn't feel like sadness. It's just who we are. It usually takes crisis or trauma or disease or diagnosis or your lowest point in your life where you're knocked to your knees. And for that moment, you actually have a view of yourself outside of yourself. You can see yourself from a different state. The facade, the whole illusion is over. And that's when a person really begins to think about what they've been thinking about. They begin to notice how they speak or how they act. And I think they begin to pay attention to those feelings on a more regular and conscious basis. And the word meditation, I looked this up because when I started my journey, I'm very scientifically minded. The word meditation, the symbol means to become familiar with. So then the first step to change, if you wanted to create a new life, you have to change. To change your personal reality, you have to change your personality. And the first step is consciousness or becoming aware. So the moment you become conscious of your unconscious thoughts, the moment you become aware of your automatic reflexive habits and your emotional reactions, the moment you can become so conscious of those unconscious states of mind and body that you don't go unconscious again, so familiar with those states. And how many times do we have to forget or go unconscious till we no longer forget or go unconscious and we stay conscious? That's lighting a match in a dark place. And most people, when they do meditation, they actually think, when those voices come up and when the chatter starts and those emotions start, they actually think that they're doing their meditation wrong. And I want them to know that they're actually doing it right, because you're coming up against those thoughts that slip by your awareness unnoticed or unchecked by many people. You all of a sudden catch how you speak. And people say, if I really want to be happy, let's think about this. I don't want to complain. I don't want to blame. I don't want to make excuses. I don't want to feel sorry for myself. I'm going to stop that. Now that's breaking a habit of being yourself. That takes a lot of energy and a lot of awareness. And our environment then, the circumstances, our environment are always available for us to think and feel equal to everything in our life, you know. So the environment for many people, as we said earlier, controls the way they think and feel. So when they respond to their coworker, when they respond to the news, when they respond to the traffic in their life, that response causes them to return back to those unconscious programs. So, but sitting in a meditation and really sitting in the fire and believing that there's something on the other side of that thought, believing that there's something on the other side of some behavior or some emotion that makes us feel a certain way, that's stepping into the unknown. And it takes us disconnecting from the environment. That's what meditation is about. Playing music or hearing nothing, or closing your eyes and not eating, not smelling, not tasting, not feeling with your body. You're putting your body away and you're not letting it be the mind or the program. You're making it sit still. You're training the animal, right? And a person starts feeling emotional and they catch themselves starting to feel those emotions. Instead of letting that emotion drive certain thoughts or actions, that person settles the body down in the meditation and brings it back into the present moment, and that's a victory.